Good morning. Happy Saturday. Can someone put some notes in the comments here and let me know that you can see and hear me okay? I'm gonna get started in just a few minutes. Hi, Darlene. Okay, thanks. Thanks for posting that because the insights on the viewers don't seem to be working. Darlene, I got a big shout out for you. You were one of 2 people who got all 16. That's huge. Huge. Let me just double check our Facebook group before we get started. Yeah, we're there. All right, cool. Excellent. Happy Saturday, everyone. If you're in Arizona, it's a bit of a gloomy Saturday, although I see some blue skies coming up. Yeah, I'm gonna put this over here because the comments are not flowing in correctly on my live screen. All right, let's get moving. Darlene says it was a lot of work even while I went to visit family during the holiday. Good job. Really good job. I'm gonna go through year 4 because you and one more had all 16, which is impressive. And we're gonna draw. This was my morning project. So if I'm missing anybody, we're gonna take this morning time to go through a couple things. Actually, I want to go through. We're obviously going to draw the winner, which is exactly why we're here this morning. And I want to go through how it helps some of you, and then I'm going to give you I want to give you some education in terms of, because you're at a very, very critical point. And how do I exit sprinting and enter walking? How do I exit sprinting and move into habit change? That's really key, so we don't drop that. So we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about the top 3 obstacles that people encounter on this journey to walking and to creating new habits out of this. And then I want to give you some updates on some things here at Southwest Dietitian Group, including some accountability groups, some online work we're doing for you, and Queen Creek. So I have here, if you guys are, this is everyone that is in here. This is everyone. I emailed the majority of you, and for those of you that chimed in on my last email yesterday, but here's who's in our bucket. I got Stephanie Jarvis, Nancy Toby, Amy Martin, Vanessa Madrid, Tracy Hendricks, Gordon Hollywood, Patty McElhaney, Barbara Hubble, Kim Matter, Carol Kurd, Teresa McCoy, Tina Robinson, Robin Howell, Laura Gerard, Amy Conrad, Katie Dyer, Darlene Gilseppi, and Kristen Duncan. This is it. This is your chance, friend. If I am missing any of you, I went through my emails like 3 times. So let me actually just double check my spam folder really quick. Junk. Nope. Spam. Okay. I don't see anybody in junk. So I think we're good. All right. Let's get moving forward. Hey, big shout out as we get started here to, let me refresh this screen over here because the comments aren't coming through live. So I'll look at the And then I want to give a big shout out to Darlene and one more. Okay, very good. Let me pull up my notes here. All right, here are the stats. I'm very proud of you guys. We are all very proud of you. All of the dietitians, Dr. Rieker, Val, we are all very proud of you for taking on the May Jumpstart Challenge. This was a streak challenge, so this was a sprint challenge. And a sprint is something, an effort that gets you further along on the journey. It's like if you're a patient at Southwest Dietitian Group, you know that when we start and where we end, there's two ways to take the journey to health. Sustainable health is what we prioritize. We can walk and we can run, or we can sprint. Walking is required, sprinting is optional. Sprinting gets you a little bit further along, but we have to be able, the step that all or nothingers tend to miss is, instead of learning how to walk again, they go straight from sprint, start, sprint, start, sprint, start. That's all or nothing. And what we want to do is help you make sure you're transitioning from the sprint into the walk. That is a critical transition period, so you don't go back to the start line. And sprints can be fun. This is what the challenge was all about. Sprints help you get a little bit further along in the journey than you might have otherwise. So we started, there's 69 of you who signed up for the May Jumpstart Challenge, and I just rattled off the names of 18 of you who completed and sent me your May Jumpstart Challenge. For all the rest of you, I don't know if you're all or nothing, or maybe you forgot about it, or maybe you got busy, but that's okay. I encourage you to continue your walking steps. And a huge congratulations and shout out to two of you, Miss Carol Curd and Miss Darlene Giuseppe. I'm sorry, Darlene, if I'm saying your last name wrong. Who got all 16. You did 4 and 4, and you got all of those streaks. Let me share with you. So Darlene, for all 4 weeks, and she did 4 non-negotiables: 100 grams of protein a day, 100 ounces of water a day, 1 hour outside a day. That's impressive. And moving your body for 60 minutes a day. Those were big ones, Darlene. That's very, very impressive. Let's make sure that you're set up to continue this progress for yourself in walking. And Miss Carol Curd, her 4 non-negotiables were 100 ounces of water a day, 15 minutes of the mental wellness or mindset per day, calorie deficit for 30 days, that's impressive, and a digital detox 30 minutes before bed. So congratulations, you two. That was, you gave, all of you have given a huge gift to yourself in the efforts that you have done for yourself throughout May. I know that we had end of school year and there was lots of activity happening. I want to share with you a couple of things that I got emails around. I heard the challenge helped me stay accountable for myself. I've really enjoyed the challenge primarily as it forced me to get outside every day and get some fresh air and de-stress, which I think has contributed to my better sleep. I found it was a lot easier to fall asleep when I didn't scroll, and then I did a sleep meditation. So a lot of you got better sleep. That's impressive. I want to hear more. Post in the comments below. I'd love to hear more of your outcomes. Better sleep, more energy, any weight loss? What were the physical outcomes that you got from this? Someone else said it has. It's funny. It has been reconfirmed that I am all or nothing. When I set my mind to something, I can achieve it, but everything else falls by the wayside. That's very important. Being outside has been refreshing, and using that time outside to move my body has felt good. So feeling good on the process, during the process, is actually a win in itself. Congratulations, you guys. All right, are you ready? I was going to have my partner, Jeremy, draw, but he's still sleeping right now. So this drawing for the winner, many of you, I'd say the average contributor was about 10 streak, like 10 entries. Some of you had 3, some of you had 16. It doesn't even matter, but that's the number of entries, and I put them all on paper today and cut them all up this morning, and that's how many entries you guys got in here. So this drawing is for the winner gets to choose a Ninja Creamy, a Ninja Crispy, or my favorite of the food kitchen tools is like a good high-end food processor. Are you ready? All right. And the winner is Miss Kim Matter. Congratulations, Kim. Okay, I don't think you're on, Kim, but congratulations to you. This was huge. Congratulations to all of you in the challenge. And let's talk a little bit about, so Kim, I need you to reach out to me. I know you know how to reach out to me. So reach out to me and let me know what we can supply you with for your kitchen. I have a feeling, I don't know if you're going to choose the Ninja Creamy, but we'll see. Congratulations, Kim. Congratulations to all of you for completing the May Jumpstart Challenge. It wasn't just about the kitchen tool. It was about your sprint and you being able to move forward. So let's talk a little bit about, let's move into some education here. So what's the difference? What did you just do? How are you going to transition? This is really, really important. How are you going to transition to sustaining a lot of these results that you received, and how are you going to move forward now? Because what any of us do not want you to do is go back to the start line. You're never starting again, even though your brain might tell you you're starting again. You're never starting again. Because there's a version of you who is much wiser and has learned a lot more from the version of you that has started. So one could argue that even if your external results look the same, you are different on the path, meaning you're never starting again. I know sometimes it feels like it. So what is walking and sprinting? If you're a patient at Southwest Dietitian Group, you know that we start here. This is where our starting line and where we're going. Where am I now and where do I want to be? And we get really, really clear. It's what we do in the initial consult with you, is we get really, really clear on where are you at and where do you want to be? What does this place look like? How are we going to know when you got what you came for? Not just weight loss, but give me that full picture. Give me that full understanding of where it is that you want to be. What is it going to be like? How is it going to feel? How are you going to be different there? How are you going to know what you got when you got what you came for? Not necessarily just the better lab results and the lower weight. That absolutely, that can be improved as well. Go deeper and have this understanding of where's the end point for you? Really getting clear on that end point. And for some of us, we have to use our imagination. Because we've never actually been there before. The brain is just a tool inside of our head that is a record of the past only. So it's often for many people in weight loss that sometimes we come with this little belief that it says it's not possible because I've never been there before. It's only because you haven't experienced it yet before, and that's okay. Now on this path, you can walk and you can sprint. Walking is required, sprints are optional. What you just did is a sprint. So start, sprint, and now you're here. And walking is about this transition period around your sprint. And we don't want you going back to here. We want you continuing forward from walking. And what is walking? Walking is habit change. Walking is going back to your life and implementing what you have just learned about yourself. I had asked you questions throughout this May challenge, and how do you need to make changes in your life? What do you need to do differently? What are you learning what are the obstacles that you're learning about yourself in order to stay consistent? And all of that is extremely valuable. All of that is extremely noteworthy. So this transition is really important. This transition, what we want to do, there's a couple of steps here. You want to take a pause and reassess. And in that reassessment, what you want to ask yourself is, what is my next right move that I can do with little to no resistance for the next 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, or the rest of my life? And this question is key. What can I do with little to no resistance for the rest of my life? Here's what I mean by that. So if you're coming out of this challenge, right, and you sprinted, and I'm going to give you one of your examples here, and you sprinted, and so let's say it was the 100 ounces of. Darlene, you're here with us right now. Do you want to give me an example of one of the things that you want to continue on with? So let's just say, let's take water. Water's an easy one that I want to give you an example around. So you just sprinted, you had 100 ounces of water every single day. Now, there's a little bit of your brain, the all or nothing brain, that's going to say, like, you just did it. You just had 100 ounces of water every day for 4 weeks straight. Like, what's the matter with you? You should just be able to keep this up, right? What we want to do, and we're saying, what's my next right move that I can do with little to no resistance? Well, I'm going to say to you, can you do 100 ounces of water a day for 3 days a week? And you're like, yeah, I could do that. Absolutely. Can I do 100 ounces of water for 4 days a week for the rest of my life with little to no resistance? And you're like, yeah, absolutely, I can do that. Can I commit to 100 ounces of water every single day for 5 days a week for the rest of my life? And then you say, yeah, I think so. There's a little bit of a gap. There's a little bit of a pause. In that pause, when I said yes, what I just did was run myself over with a dump truck, and I paid no attention to my resistance. That resistance inside, like, there's that little voice, like, you just did this. You just did a full challenge. You need to say yes, because you just need to get your you-know-what together and hurry this process up. That's our little inner voice of resistance. And what we don't want to do is override that in habit change. In a sprint, you just go. You commit, you're all in, it's full commit. And so what we're doing in habit change, and what we don't often practice in our health changes, is I'm either full commit mode or I'm full out mode. It's all or nothing. All in, all out, 0%, 100%, go hard, go home. And in order to turn that all or nothing off, which will not get you sustainably to your goals, is to be able to work with yourself and set the next small step that you can take with little to no resistance for the rest of your life. And so the goal of the water, if I said yes to 3 days a week, yes to 4 days a week, and then pause and said yes to 5 days a week, well, four is where I sit. I'm going to draw a line in the sand that I do not cross, called a boundary, and say, you know what? 4 days a week. That's what I got, 4 days a week. Put in the comments, I'd love to hear from you guys what you want to work with here and how you want to continue, what you want to continue in terms of the steps that you are working with. There's a couple other, there's 2 other factors that you want to consider in habit change. And that is going to be I should say 3. Reminders, environment, and enjoyment. So if I've got my first step was, what can I do with little to no resistance for the rest of my life? And when the rest of my life seems too big, then I want to pare it down. What can I do with little to no resistance for the next 7 days? For those of you who are just coming out of school or a stressful period in life, you'll just need to pare it back down. Like, what can I do for 7 days? Realistically. What can I do for the next 30 days? Realistically. Not like, I just did this, I should be able to do this. That's step 1. What is my next right small step? That's important. Number 2, that tracker that you just had served as a reminder. And you want to set reminders for yourself. Because a habit's not a habit till it's a habit. A habit's not a habit till it's a habit. And so if that thing isn't in your face like that tracker was, that tracker served as your reminder, then you're just going to forget, right? If somebody walks out of a session with a dietitian and they don't take any like any notes or set any reminders, and they'll come back in a month and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to do all that. It's technically not actually your fault. You just didn't set a reminder. That was the piece. So I encourage you to get whatever you need. Get some kind of, go to Etsy, go to Canva, get a habit tracker, get something where, like, if you're, get yourself gold stickers off of Amazon and give yourself gold stickers every day. Find an app in your phone. What's the app name? Finch? Is it the Finch app? People use the Finch. I know I've had a couple of patients, I think, use the Finch app, and members use the Finch app. I could be totally wrong on that. Maybe let me see. Is it the Finch app? I'm curious now. Finch app. Oh, the Finch app is a self-care application that uses a gamified approach to help users develop healthy habits. It is Finch, F as in Frank, Finch app. Okay. I've never used it before, but that could be something to consider. Patty says, congrats, Kim. I'm proud of everyone who participated. Thanks, Maya, for the support. I emotionally, spiritually, and physically feel better than I did a month ago. That's huge. Good job, Patty. That's perfectly where we wanted to be. Mind, body, and soul in all caps. When it comes together, it feels so good. Life is complicated, so I'll take the win when it happens. Yeah. That's being able to do this and walking in your real life. Let me tell you, this is the real work. This is the real work. There's none of our lives will be perfect. None of our lives will not have you're never going to have this perfect span of time where you're not going out to eat, or you're not traveling, or you don't have stress in your life. That's the real work, to be able to implement these things in your real life. That's the work. So we got to have some kind of tracker. That's number one. You got to have some kind of reminder. Now, if you want to use your phone alarm, there's something you should know with phone alarms, or like stick-it notes. Maybe it's a tracker that you put on your maybe it's a tracker that you put on your refrigerator or something like that. The Finch app is kind of nice to be new and something fun. There's a part of our brain called the reticular activating system. And the reticular activating system simply says that it helps the brain, because there's so much information coming into the brain in any one given moment and throughout our day. And so the reticular activating helps us to say, what is important here? What is important to this person? What is important to this person that I need to filter in and filter out? So example, if you're sleeping at night and you have like a fan going, that's noise, that's information noise coming into your brain, but your brain isn't going to, like, that's normal and that's always been there, so it's going to not alert you. But if you are sleeping at night and you have a knock at the door at 3 a.m., your brain is going to wake you up, because that's weird, that's out of place, that shouldn't be there. And so sometimes when it comes to phone alarms, the reason we ignore those kinds of things, or if we put stick-it notes, like, we'll see it, but at some point it's going to become background. At some point it's going to be a normal part of our life, and we won't see it anymore. So you want to keep that in mind when it comes to reminders. The second piece here is enjoyment, long-term enjoyment. So one of you told me that protein, you found protein hard to get in, and that's real. That happens to a lot of us. And you also had found out that you don't like protein foods very much. And then that's really important. In order to reach a goal, you're not going to sit there and eat a huge bowl of protein or meat that you don't like. That's never going to last long term, right? It's in a habit loop. You have a cue, a routine, and a reward. A cue could be sitting down on the couch at night. The routine could be eating potato chips, and the reward could be like relaxation, right? And the problem comes in enjoyment when I try and say, like, oh, those potato chips are bad, I need to stop eating that at night. Well, I'm going to throw in baby carrots. No one's going to get the same amount of enjoyment and like, relaxation out of baby carrots as we would the potato chips or whatever, chocolate bar. It's just not going to happen, right? So we have to find some kind of way where we enjoy it and there's enjoyment. Now, there's also, you can flip this on its head a little bit to understand that I enjoy the outcome. Like Patty had just said, is she just overall feels better for doing these things. Overall feels better for doing these things. And I don't know, I'm making this up for her. She doesn't necessarily have to love doing these things. She doesn't necessarily have to fall in love with it or find this deep amount of enjoyment with it. But she does find enjoyment with the outcome, right? It's like the stair machine. I don't like the stair machine, but I respect it because I like the outcome that it gives me. I like how it makes me feel afterwards, right? So there's humans in general, we take action because we're either pushed by pain or pulled by pleasure. And I know that someone is turning the corner if they come in because they're pushed by the pain of a new diabetes diagnosis. And cool, it is what it is. It pushed you into action, right? But if we're always being pushed by that pain and never turn the corner to be pulled by pleasure, to be pulled by the pleasure of feeling good, to be pulled by the pleasure of how good it feels to be doing these things, then it's likely not going to last. So finding enjoyment is another key. So number one, I have to find my next right small step. What can I do with little to no resistance for the rest of my life? Number two, you got to set those reminders up. Number three, eventually have a think on what kind of enjoyment can I find in this? What kind of enjoyment how can I make this easier, better, more feel good, or what outcomes do I like here, right? So there's that. And the fourth and final piece is about your environment. Setting your environment up for success. Now that can come in lots of different ways. Yeah, that can come in. That's a really good one, Teresa. Teresa just chimed in and said, I enjoy my smaller clothes. Yes, 1,000%. I just had another member in our membership the other day say the same thing. She was buying smaller clothes, and there's definitely a lot of enjoyment for that. That's where it helps you to continue and do a thing when you don't feel like doing a thing. That's also a skill on this path. Nice. That's a really good one. Environment is the number 4 and the very last one. And just setting your environment up for success. That can look very different in lots of different scenarios, right? That could be something as simple as one of you had course corrected an obstacle through this challenge and said, I just need to prepare my lunch the night before. I just need to put my gym clothes and get that prepared the night before. So that's setting up my environment. It is not uncommon that there is like setting up your physical environment. It's not uncommon to also, you got people in your environment, right? To have hard conversations, hard communication with loved ones can also be a major, major part of habit change. I know many of you have had hard conversations with loved ones about your goals and about what are you working to accomplish and achieve. So that should not go unnoticed and is a very, very important part. So let's recap, and then I want to go through 3 of the major obstacles that you're going to potentially encounter in this process. So at Southwest Dietitian Group, you learn the how process. The how process is basically doing the work. How do you do the work long term, not just a sprint? Well, it's about doing the work, taking the small steps or the sprints, managing your obstacles, reflecting and measuring, and keeping going. That's the how process. That's how you do this work. And in your small steps, that's what I want you to do next. Number 1, get your non-negotiables and pare them down to what can I do with little to no resistance for the rest of my life. Like pause and reflect on that. Number 2, I want you to set up any kind of reminders that you need to, any kind of trackers, any kind of apps, any of that. It will eventually become a habit and integrate in your life, and you won't need to. It's the same way that sometimes with newbies, when we say eat 100 grams of protein, they look at us like we have 3 heads, but for many of you, that's become very easy. Number 3 is enjoyment. Remember that habit loop. It doesn't mean you have to enjoy the thing, although you could find a way to enjoy the thing, but you can also find respect in the thing to enjoy the outcome. And lastly, number 4 is about your environment. And your environment is both things and people. How can I set that up for myself? So let's talk a little bit about, there's more than 3, but there's 3 major obstacles that we all see in practice that as you're doing the work, you can hit. The first one we've talked about a lot, that's all or nothing. All or nothing thinking is about going hard, going home, 0%, 100%. You only have 2 modes, all in, all out. Change 998 things about my life on Monday and fall into chocolate cake or a 6-pack by Friday. So there's two remedies to this. The first one is going to be brain training, learning how your brain works, and taking the action that is more 50%. We have at Southwest Dietitian Group have brought on a Last Step weight loss program. It is our online membership program for those of you to either add pieces to your journey that you need, such as mindset and accountability that insurance does not pay for, or for those of you who don't have nutrition benefits and can get everything, mindset, accountability, and nutrition, that's cheaper than cash pay. So it's an option for you to move forward. So there's a brain training area in the membership, in our weight loss membership, where you learn how your brain works and how to start thinking differently. For some of us, if you were like me, learning how to think differently is as important, if not more important, than the action itself, because our thinking founds our behavior. That's cognitive behavioral therapy. How we think drives how we feel. And so if I am all or nothing, it is only a matter of time where I'm all in and all out again, because how we think drives what we do. So all or nothing thinking and behaving is a common obstacle, a very common obstacle. And sometimes it's driven by how we think, our beliefs about things. It's driven by feeling I'm maybe not good enough where I am and I have to change faster, not feeling whole and complete as I am right now. It's very, 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 very difficult. This doesn't apply to all of you, but some of you, it's meaningful. It's very, very, very difficult to change what is when I'm so busy trying to change and control and manipulate and beat into submission in the ground what is. When I can accept what is more likely and easily able to change. So that requires small steps. The second obstacle leads into the first obstacle a little bit. And not to be a Debbie Downer here on you by any means, but this is something that you need to hear. And that is those people that are successful. Those people that are successful. And if we don't know each other, this is my background. I've been a dietitian for 18 years, and I have gone down this path because of my own journey. I stopped weighing myself over 200 pounds at one point in my life. And so much of my journey has been much of what I'm sharing now in terms of brain training, heart training, nervous system training, habit change, getting the right nutrition in, getting the right functional medicine support for my hormones and my thyroid. It's been a 20-year journey for me. I'm not saying that that's going to be true for you, but for many of us, we need to break that sense of urgency, often because there's a sense of, not to be too woo on you, but for some of us, we're trying to fill that perceived hole or perceived sense of lack. And so it's something we have to have now. So a longer time horizon, consistency, and patience is something that has to be cultivated. Absolutely has to be cultivated. Sometimes for some people, we have to break something a little bit upstairs and simply say, when someone is frustrated that they only lost half a pound a week, which is amazing because normal weight loss is half a pound to 2 pounds a week, or frustrated that maybe there was no weight loss, or frustrated maybe that it's slow enough. Sometimes you got to ask yourself a hard question, something that we haven't wanted to digest before, and simply say, you know what, would I still be doing this if I knew for sure I'd lose the weight? but I wouldn't lose the weight for another 10 years. Sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, and it helps break something in our brain a little bit so we can settle in for the long haul. And so common obstacle number 1, all or nothing thinking. Common obstacle number 2, not having a long enough time horizon, not having patience, and not being consistent. And consistency, remember, you can be consistent with the right small step. If you struggle with consistency, it's because you don't have the right small step. That's all. The last one, many of us fall into. For those of you in our weight loss membership, you know this for sure, and this won't apply to all of you, but many of you it does. And a major obstacle has to do with our nervous system. And some of us fall into the depths of this deep dark place that says, I've failed, I haven't done anything, I should be further along, I should have done more, I should have done better. And this deep dark place can really spiral. Does that resonate with any of you? Does that make sense? It's this deep dark place where, like, at some point, some people just stop reaching out entirely. You know, it's I've joked with you before, it's Southwest Dietitian Group, like, we'll get cancellations because people would just say, I didn't do anything. And it's at that very moment where there's so much opportunity to look at the obstacles. That's an obstacle, and it's an opportunity to dive into that obstacle. So those are usually the best sessions. And I would really encourage you to get in the membership as well. So this often has to do with our nervous system instead of it having to do with what we think. And what we think in that moment when, I should have done more, I should have done better, I'm failing, I should be further along, this sucks, I suck, I can't do this isn't possible for me. And spiral. We think that we need to take action. We think in those moments that we need to go hard. And if you've spiraled and you're in all or nothing, or this is a bad place to be, because then you go all in and fail again, and then you create more evidence for your brain that, see, I suck, I can't do this. And so it's in that moment where the solution to that obstacle is not in doing, but it is in calming your nervous system. 1 minute nervous system training, you have calm and safety, parasympathetic dominance, green zone. Talk to a dietitian about this. For those of you in the membership, it's your nervous system training is there. So you've got green zone here. It feels like peace, contentment, calm. The body is in a state of health and vitality. It is easier to lose weight. It is easier to think right and to do right and to think better feeling thoughts than negative thoughts. And this is peace, contentment, and calm. Then when the nervous system ticks up into the red zone, it's fight or flight. Even minor worries, concerns, and irritations can be fight or flight, all the way up to panic, fear, and rage. And the highest form of stress is freeze. That is depression, that's shutting down. That is, it's depression, shutting down, inaction, no action. So if you think about a nervous system, the nervous system, we have our vagus nerve traveling through the body, all the nerves go out and to the rest of the body, and it's a signaling system, and it tells the body what to do. So if I'm calm, if an animal has a nervous system too, right? So if an animal is at home with its family, it's calm, it feels good, it's able to digest its food and have a good meal and have fun, but it knows it needs to go out and get food. If it needs to go out and get food, it automatically goes into fight or flight. It automatically goes into survival because it has to be on high alert because there could be a tiger in the bushes. And then, oh my gosh, there is a tiger in the bushes. So I have to freeze. I have to play dead in order to survive. And then the nervous system goes like this. So now I have to come down into red. I have to run back home. And then when I get home, I can shake off, the animal can shake off its the fight or flight hormones that are running through the body, and now I can calm down. So Really, 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 really difficult to have normal digestion, have optimal energy, have health and vitality, and lose weight when you're trying to survive. Being in the green and going green is most important. And when we're, this final obstacle I'm giving you, and we're in that fallout process, when we're in that fallout process and we're just in a maybe I suck place, it isn't about taking action. It's about going green first. It's about taking some time to decompress and find your way back to peace, contentment, and calm. That is the work when you hit the fallout process. That is the work to do when you're feeling low. Okay? So those are the three major obstacles. Is all or nothing. We need a little brain training. Getting your brain to the place where you need a longer time horizon. You got to be consistent, and you get consistency through mastering the small step and patience. And then the third and final major obstacle is that fallout process where we try and take action when we actually need to calm our nervous system down and go green and practice some self-regulation. Was this helpful for you guys? Yeah, Patty, the peace, contentment, and calm discussion hit me. I see how the stress in the past months has impacted my thinking and action. As an anxious person, also me, this is a tough one for me. For many of us, it has become habit to live in the red, in fight or flight. I'm not saying this is true for Patty, I don't know. But I know for me, with my background, for those of you that know me, with my history of weight and my whole journey, and a big reason I started Southwest Dietitian Group, I do come with a background of complex PTSD and severe trauma. And so for some of us, depending on our life, red, fight or flight, survival is a habit. And so it's really, really weird for many of us. Working on going green, this is going to sound weird, but it's true. Working on going green can feel unsafe. Like, peace, contentment, like calm. Something needs to go wrong. Like, where's the sky should be falling right? The sky is going to fall. Like, this is calm. This feels weird and bad. Like, it's like if your whole life you ate candy bars, and here's an apple, and you heard an apple was good for you, but you never had it. Your body's like, your brain, your nervous system is like, you know what? I know the candy bar is giving me prediabetes, and I heard an apple's better, but I'm not dead. Let's just eat the candy bar. That's too unknown. Tracy, it's tough for me too. My brain goes straight to negative thoughts. Yeah, think of them, Tracy, as think of the negative thoughts as habits. Ultimately, in our brain, we have they're neural pathways in our brain. If you look at a picture of a brain, you have grooves in the brain, and those grooves in the brain are thoughts you think over and over again. The brain loves efficiency. The brain doesn't say, okay, well, Tracy just had a good thought and then that was a bad thought, so we're only going to wire in and make it easier for her to take the good thoughts. If we think a thought over and over and over and over again, our brain's going to wire it in and make it a high-speed freeway. Whereas the positive thoughts are like side streets, and you want the opposite. And what happens is that groove deepens with more and more and more evidence. I'm not saying this is true for Tracy by any means. It is like, you know, if I can't do this, a common obstacle on the path to weight loss is if I can't do this or it's not possible. Every time that I play out all or nothing and I go back to the start line, the brain says, see, it's not possible for you. I have so many years of failure. It's just not possible. And then you give yourself more and more and more evidence. Is it true? Yeah, see, it's true. Is it true? Yeah, see, it's true. And then those negative thoughts become our filters. They become our glasses. And that's how we see our world. If I believe that I'm just not good enough, I suck, I can't do things right, well, I'm going to come home and I'm going to see the pile of unfolded clothes in my bedroom as like, I suck. I'm going to see the dishes in my sink as like, man, I just can't get my shit together. Instead of, I won't have access immediately, my rational brain, but I won't have access to that whole like, you just had a hard week, like it was long, chill out. I won't have access to that. That's going to be confirmation, immediate confirmation. of my own belief that I suck. So I highly recommend, if this is resonating with you, I'm going to show you, I want to actually give you guys an invitation into, we have been working on the online component to our work at Southwest Dietitian Group. And this online component to our work at the Southwest Dietitian Group is weight loss based. We call it the Last Step Weight Loss program and membership. And there's 3 pieces. There are 3 pieces here. The 3 pieces, and I don't know if I can actually share my screen during this. I don't know that I'm actually going to try, but I will put in screenshots, and I will put links in here for you guys. So let me go over here. The purpose of this, by the way, let me come back to me. There's so many links open. It's like our brain. So the purpose of this ultimately is, here's what we know. Here's what we know for sure, is that much of our work, the one-to-one dietitian support, Dr. Rieker in our office, we have to have a plan. There's how do you do this work? There's 3 steps to this work. What is the plan? Doing the work and maintaining it. Okay. So having the plan, let's talk about this for just a second. So having the plan is about, there's 3 questions you ask on this path when you first get started to get healthy. It doesn't matter if you're getting healthier, better lab work, sustainable weight loss, real change, whatever you're working to engage in yourself. And all of you that are here are working on that for yourself. And if there's anybody in the world that I have more respect for, it's you. We all do. So there's 3 questions you want to ask yourself on the plan. And it's important to understand that we focus on the 3rd, and I want you to graduate to the 3rd. This is why you see a one-to-one dietitian and why you see a functional medicine doctor like Dr. Rieker for hormone support or gut health support or thyroid support or weight loss support. There's the question of what's right for me, and what's right for me right now. I want you to ask that 3rd question because it's what we answer for you too. What's right? You could go to Instagram and get bombarded with like, well, this is right, and this is right, and this is right, and this is right, right? And it's like, then what's right for me? That's a good question, because now you're making the distinction and the understanding that, well, I'm different. I have a unique individual body, and someone sitting next to me who's the same height, age, weight, sex, everything could need something different. So question 2 is a graduated question and a step in the right direction. Question 3 is what I eventually want you to graduate to, and that is, what is right for me right now? Any woman who's been through perimenopause and menopause, you absolutely understand that. You absolutely understand that how you lost weight at 20 and how you lose weight at 40 are 2 completely different things. So what's right for me right now is important for those of you struggling with gut health. When you go through times of what's the word I'm looking for? We always use the remission. You're in remission or you're in flare-up in gut health. And gut health is really hard. If you're in flare-up, what's right for me right now is going to be different than when you're in remission and feeling good. You literally, for people with gut health issues, you know this. You could eat the same food. One day it bothers you and one day it doesn't. It's because what's right for me right now is the important question, okay? So here's the plan. And then in the middle, I talked about the how process. This is your how process. Once you have the right plan for you, which is strategy work, it's all strategy work. There's not one human on this planet, not one doctor, not one person. And please don't let someone say that this can always work out perfectly for you. It's all about, okay, I am taking in this information. I have the plan. I have the strategy. I have to test, measure, and course correct it. There's not one perfect strategy and one perfect plan because your body is unique now. And so that's why you go into somebody who is functional minded or root cause minded, because they get to the root cause of not just the Band-Aid, but what's the root cause of it. And that's what we do at SDG in terms of your nutrition, your hormones, your gut, what's the root cause. And so putting that right plan in place, it's going to be frustrating because maybe that first time you implement a strategy, it's not going to work out and you've got to course correct it. So no one's going to have your perfect plan, but that's the work. Then when you do the work, It's small steps in sprinting, doing the work, obstacle management, managing obstacles, behaviorally, emotionally, nervous system wise, in my mind, in my heart, everything from emotional eating to having a gut health flare up, having hormones that are off, those are all obstacles. Negative thinking, that's an obstacle. And then taking time to reflect and measure, which I hope we're doing here together today. And then that's it. Do the work, take the small steps, manage the obstacles, reflect and measure, do the work, manage the obstacles, reflect and measure, and around you go until you maintain. And maintaining, for those of you in weight loss, is a whole nother skill. A whole nother skill. Working 18 years in weight loss, I have heard this over and over and over again from my clients. They'll always say, like, I've only lost or gained weight my whole life. I've actually never maintained it. So they will tell you for sure that maintenance is a skill. So I'm going to put all of the links for you below, and here's my invitation. So here's what we're doing is the Last Step Weight Loss Program and membership is a, you could say, a program with Southwest Dietitian Group, and it splits it into 3 pieces based on what you need. There's mindset with me. I'm going to post more information afterwards. And this mindset space with me, we have clarity calls twice a month. And there are 3 spaces with many lessons. There's brain training, heart training, and nervous system training. And then we have 2 clarity calls, and then there's, you also get roadmap training and the community. In the middle here, there's accountability, and this is what we are launching, and this is what's new. In accountability, you have the course material that is your small steps training. You have a fallout process with your nervous system, like we just talked about. And then you have optional sprints. We have community calls, and brand new, which are going to be with me, is small Marco Polo accountability groups. So Marco Polo is an app. You're going to be placed into a small group, where it is a small group who encourages each other via video app, that you'll be in a small group with me. I'll put more information in there. And then the last piece we brought on is nutrition. So nutrition goes into, it's mainly weight loss based, functional labs training, gut health training, figuring out calorie and macronutrients training. This piece with nutrition can be an add-on if someone, maybe their insurance doesn't cover nutrition, or they're paying cash, and this can be a less expensive option. So the Last Step Weight Loss Program and membership, the mindset only is $47 a month. Accountability and mindset with the small groups with me are $99 a month, and then the full weight loss membership with the nutrition, accountability, and the mindset is $197 a month. So I'm going to put those links for you so you have all of that. And the newest thing that we are testing right now is those small accountability groups, that are the Marco Polo groups. If you don't know what Marco Polo is, it's an app. And you basically, I know that Teresa's on one with me right now, and you record. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to, but you record a little video. And from an accountability perspective, even a mindset accountability perspective, incredibly powerful. So we definitely know, research has definitely told us that the small group accountability, especially small group accountability with the mindset aspect or cognitive behavioral therapy aspect, can be very, very, very powerful for sustainable weight loss and real change, and making sure that we sustain that for a year or more. Okay. I think that's all I have for you today. Was this helpful for you today? Did this make sense? Did this resonate for you? Our intention really for you is to, number 1, know how to get out of the sprint and into walking. That was number 1. Number 2, the common obstacles, the 3 most common obstacles. And then number 3, where you can get additional support. So I'm still working on the page for our website right now. And I'll put more information on all of that below this video. I hope this was very helpful for you guys. All of us here at Southwest Dietitian Group, we so love and appreciate the work that you do for yourself. We appreciate you taking care of you. I say taking care of you so much that Valerie, our office manager, got me this over Christmas. Take care of you. And a big special thanks to you guys and to the dietitians at Southwest Dietitian Group, to Taylor and Tiffany, to Dr. Reeker, for being on our team and helping us with our hormones and our weight loss and our gut health and all the things that dietitians can't do. And let me tell you, after this week of playing Valerie, who's on vacation this week, a huge extra thank you to Valerie for all that she does. When I hired her onto our team, one of her references said that she could run a small country. And let me tell you, she runs our small country, and we couldn't be more grateful. Our values here at Southwest Dietitian Group are sustainable change, root cause, and kindness. Getting to the root cause, helping you be sustainable in your changes, and kindness. And kindness is, let me tell you, we're all human. After playing Val's job this week, it was it was a test of our values. And we're all human here. You're all human too. And so we love and appreciate you however you show up on any single given day. And we so appreciate you for doing the work that you do here. Thanks for being here. And as always, please reach out to us if there's anything you need. Communication is the foundation between the relationship that you and I and you have with us at SDG. If something's off or wrong, or so we're doing something really well, or you're getting results or you're not, please always communicate with us. Our doors are always open. We love you guys so much. Have a great Saturday.